Hey there, my name is Chris Acton with Acton Creative, and this is a Handwoven Experience, episode 122. And in this episode, I'm going to talk about how to substitute a different sized yarn. Now, let me explain that further for us, You're excited about a brand new project. You found the instructions in a book or a magazine or online or in a kit, and it's looking great, except you want to use a different sized yarn for your project than what is specified. Now, let me just say this as a little caveat. In this video, I'm only going to talk about a different size. I'm not going to talk about different fibers or textures. We got to keep it kind of small here, right? Because it gets very complicated very quickly. So I'm going to keep it real simple, and we're going to say it's just a different size. So let me give you a visual to help get us there. So let's say that this is what they specify. Is an 8/4 cotton, unmercerized, which means it's a matte finish, doesn't have a shiny finish to it, right? 8/4 unmercerized cotton. And this is what they specify. This is the yarn that you'd like to use. It is an 8/2 unmercerized cotton, okay? Now, this is always risky when I try to hold multiple things at the same time. Okay, can you see? Maybe right there. There we go. Look at the size difference. This one is clearly bigger. The 8/4 is clearly bigger than the 8/2. So our job, as we're gonna substitute this one, is to make sure we're making some good decisions so we get very similar results just using a different size. So here's how we start with that. We start by getting to know the fiber that they specify. So they specified an 8/4 cotton. And in the instructions, because we're doing a twill, hypothetically, because we're doing a twill, it says to space it at 12 ends per inch, 12 EPI. That is the set, S-E-T-T. Set refers to how close together or how far apart your warp yarns are spaced in your project, okay? So in the kit or instructions, it says that we need to do this at 12 ends per inch. So that gives us a gauge of, we're getting in the head of, in the minds of the person who wrote the pattern, okay? They want them a little closer together than plain weave. I got it. So now our job is to find something comparable with the yarn we want to substitute into our project. So our job then is to find out what is something equivalent for our 8/2 cotton, okay? Now, you may be thinking, okay, how do I find this? How do I just discover this mysterious set? Well, I have an easy answer for you. On the website where you bought the yarn. Yes, that is the easiest place to start, my friend. Go to the place that you bought the yarn, and in the description, they will tell you recommended set. Now, here's what you'll be looking at. Typically, they'll either have one range, or they'll have maybe two ranges. They may break it up into, for plain weave, we recommend these numbers, which are going to be the lower numbers. Or for twill, we recommend these numbers, which are the higher numbers, okay? So in this case, let's say that our 8/2, the recommended for a twill, is 18 to 24. Let's say that that is the recommended set for this yarn and a twill. Now, you may be thinking, okay, that seems like a big range. That's 6 yarns. How do I choose that? Well, especially if you're just starting, here's what I want you to know. The difference between 20 ends per inch and 24 ends per inch is not that big. Not really. I would rather you picked a number that made easy math and then you went from there because you're learning. That's the whole point. You've chosen this pattern because you want to try something new. You want to try something from a new author, whatever it is. So you are just learning, so do not stress over this. So my recommendation, if the original says 12 ends per inch and your range says 18 to 24, go with 24. That's gonna be nice, easy math. That means that for every one here, you have 2 of these. Easy peasy, you can do it. So make a decision, don't overthink it, and use that number for the set that you're gonna use with your yarn, okay? Now, you're looking at your project and it is 10 inches wide in the reed, or the width of the project is 10 inches, right? So with our original, in the instructions, it says that that is gonna mean you need 120 yarns for the width, okay? Now, if we do 120 of these, it's gonna be half the size. So we don't really want a 5-inch wide project, not really. So here is where you need to go through the project, and everywhere it says 12 ends per inch, cross it out and use the new EPI everywhere there. So instead of having 120, you're going to have 240 because it's just going to be double, right? Do you see how I kind of thought that through and inserted my new yarn into the existing instructions? That's the thought process for how to do it. And it doesn't have to be complicated. You just need to find kind of an equivalent set and then insert that into the project. Now, here's what I'm going to warn against. As weavers, we are creative people, right? We like to do all the things and make all the changes and just go to town. I am going to challenge you to only make one, at the most, 2 changes to the basic pattern of your project. And here's why. You found this project and you chose this project because it has something that you want to learn, something that excited you. And if you change the instructions too much, you get farther and farther away from what the weaver intended. And you want to have a good experience, right? So that's why he or she carefully gave you these instructions. So don't tweak it too much. If you have a yarn you want to put in there instead, great, do that. But just keep the changes simple, just so that you can really enjoy their process. Once it's done, go to town. Make your own changes after you've gone through it once. Change colors, change to other fibers, whatever you want to do after that. But I highly recommend that you stay pretty true to the original instructions, just so that you can have the best experience and learn what you want to learn from that particular pattern. All right, those are my recommendations for you. I know it's a lot to think through, and every scenario is going to be just a little bit different, but the more you stretch those muscles and make decisions and then analyze it afterwards, the smarter you're going to get about what you like in a project and how you want it to come together. So you can do it, I promise. Drop me a line if you have any questions, and I will help you however I can. All right, my friends, have a great week. Happy weaving.